I started collecting when I was actually 5 years old, and it started with the trip on board a Pan Am 747 with my family to Europe. And from that moment on, I was instantly hooked on aviation. I built this set actually about 2 years ago, and I found the aircraft parts in Mojave Desert. I took apart an old Boeing 747-200, and I brought each piece in a trailer here to this warehouse and reconstructed the aircraft from scratch. So in order to get the aircraft to look very much like the Pan Am aircraft did back in the 70s, I went to great lengths to replicate the interior. For example, the carpeted wall that you see at the nose of the aircraft, that was the exact wall that Pan Am actually had when you walked on board the 747. And I went to a custom carpet sculptor not far from here who actually recreated it to my exact specifications based on nearly about 100 photos that I took when I was a kid. And the wallpaper I actually had reproduced. So I went to a custom wallpaper designer, recreated the Pan Am wave pattern for all the wall coverings. And the seat fabrics, like the seats you see in the Clipper cabin, I went to a custom textile designer who reprinted the actual fabric that Pan Am had on those seats. And I used a company who makes airline seat covers to actually sew those seat covers back on the aircraft. So when you walk on board the airplane, it actually gives you that entire feel and sense of actually being back in the Pan Am brand in the 70s. What stands in my mind most of all is the lighting. The photographer made it look like daylight in many cases inside this aircraft, despite the fact that it's tucked away inside of a warehouse. And some of the shots that were taken in the upper deck really brought the aircraft to life like no other photographer has. So I was really impressed with how every photograph came out. Well, my all-time favorite shot would be the one at the cockpit door where I'm smoking with the model. Not only because I'd never smoked, but she was so beautiful, and I was standing there gazing into her eyes as the photographer was taking the pictures. And it lasted a good 15-20 minutes. My second favorite shot, without a doubt, was the turbulence scene in the coach cabin, where 20 of us were seated back there enacting the oxygen mask coming down, the fans blowing through all our hair as if the wind had come through. It was really a moment that I won't forget.